Keep arms down and head back and hold on.
So, have you heard of the company Bricks and Minifigs?
Recently, for my son, yes.
Okay, so you know a little bit about what's been going on, at least.
He started telling this story while we were out for dinner, and it just kept going and going and going. But I will leave you to fill in.
Oh, God, I don't even know. So here's the story. I found my friend Ethan at Pinball League on Monday told me about this, and he's like, I can't even he's like, I'm going to tell you some of this stuff, and I'm not even going to come close to touching it all. And he's like, telling me all this stuff, and I'm like, what? This can't be real.
It sounds like somebody's
I didn't even really think about it. Yes, I did. So I was like, I didn't even really think about it, and then one of my new favorite sites is Tech Dirt. Their coverage, it's so
nice name.
I love their coverage of stuff because they're also they're a tech site, but they're kind of going into politics a little bit and kind of talking about some stuff that just was really hitting home, pointing out things that not a lot of other places are pointing out. So I've been really paying attention to them a lot. And then I think it was on, I don't know, it was either Tuesday or yesterday or Wednesday that it came up in my RSS feed reader. Tech Dirt wrote an article about this. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to have to actually read about it. Greg, I spent 2 hours.
I can believe it. I
didn't reach the end of the article. So, because the article's written,
a huge article.
I know, but there's videos they're laying out all the videos too, and I did not watch all the videos, but some of them are really.
Oh, you got the legal documents recreated and everything. Oh my
God! This is a really in depth. So anybody that's when after I'm done telling this, first do not quote me on anything exactly because I may be wrong because there's no way I can remember all this stuff. But so what happened is Bricks and Minifig is a company that's based in Utah, and they have franchises. And there's a franchise in Oregon that, I guess let's start with the other section. There is a 83-year-old guy that whenever he started, he's he decided that he wanted to start saving for his grandkids' college. And he had decided he made rightfully so in hindsight decision that what he was going to do is actually use money to invest in buying Lego sets and keeping them packaged and holding on to them and selling them in the future because he said he's like I see all these Star Wars Legos things come out and then they disappear and he's like I could just feel that they were going to be worth something.
And he's not wrong.
He was not wrong. So there's some dispute on what the value actually is, but there's numbers of 200,000, and it depends on what you're going to spend versus what they're worth, and there's all those things in between. It's worth more to different people. So anyway, you're looking at anywhere from $60,000 to $200,000 worth of Legos. So he's working with his son. He basically gave it to his son. He's like, you're more up on this stuff. And his son doesn't really know anything either. So he goes to this Bricks and Minifigs location, and they work out a consignment agreement. And they post it, and they start, the first year goes by, and as they sell them, they're giving him his percentage, and there's no problems. Well, the owners of that franchise also published zines or something that's kind of anti-Trump, Trump gets elected and they decide, well, we probably should leave the U.S. And so, like, they're like, okay, well, they call the corporate headquarters of Bricks and Minifigs, and they say, hey, we want to work out, we want to, see about selling our franchise to somebody because we're going to be moving out, That same day, somebody from Utah drives out to Oregon and shows up and demands the keys because they're taking over the franchise. Just out of the blue, and the owners of the franchise were like, well, on the phone they sounded receptive to the sale and everything, and then all of a sudden later that day they show up demanding the keys and just literally take over the store. They just took over the whole franchise. And even in that happening, she specifically told them, we have a consignment deal going on right now. These are the property of this guy. And they acknowledge it, no problem. And then everything goes off the rails. Absolutely. Everything goes off the rails. And I guess 18 months go by, and there's just like back and forth, And then all of a sudden, there's a YouTuber, content creator, Reckless Ben, that drives up to give them coverage. And he gives them the exposure. But every single person in this has made so many mistakes. There's now lawsuits going on. I spent 2 hours and I'm still trying to figure it all out.
It's extremely convoluted.
It's ridiculous. So they're claiming that now all of a sudden they're claiming that, hey, we took over the store because they were behind on their franchise payments and everything. So Reckless Ben, basically they're like, oh, we had no idea of the consignment. The owner of the Legos files a paper with them that proves, okay, we have now told you. So, like, some of this, there might be a little bit of section of some Legos being sold that are kind of in limbo. Like, legally, they're all his, but, but there's a point where they served a paper, and there is no doubt, there's absolutely no doubt that those Legos belong to this guy, not to the store. They were never part of the franchise. They were never part of Bricks and Minifigs. They were just there on consignment. So I can't remember if it was the owners of the Legos or Reckless Ben, but one of them basically goes in and specifically buys one of the identified Lego sets that belonged to this other guy. And they just sold it to him, no problem. And this was after the paperwork was filed. So they clearly knew. So they caught it, and there was proof. They are knowingly selling stolen property, basically.
Right.
Reckless Ben, basically started a religion. I'm not joking. He decides that, okay, well, he's going to raffle off those Lego sets. And I didn't, this is so far over my head. But basically the whole idea was, well, if they enter into a nonprofit raffle, then somehow this becomes criminal rather than just civil. And one of the videos in that article is a copyright attorney that he talks through a lot of this stuff. He is very knowledgeable, and he talks through everybody's mistakes and what they did. Those are really good videos. If you're going to read through and look through all this, but
need a free week.
This is going on that way, but every step that Bricks and Minifig takes is basically everything they say is proven wrong in another way. And this is all their brand has basically been raked over the coals. Apparently there's other franchises that are now we're screwed because nobody's coming to our stores because the name has been tarnished so bad. Yeah. That people are like, well, I'm not, anybody that knows anything about Legos knows about this story now. And it's it's just hurting them. There are now currently 2 lawsuits arguing the same exact facts in different directions. And the same people are a member of both like witnesses in one way or another in both lawsuits.
God.
It is the most it's just unbelievable. And like this lawyer was saying, there might be something to like basically the owners of the franchise are fighting, saying like they had no right to come take over the store. That was against the agreement. Bricks and Minifig says, well, that the consignments were against, you weren't even allowed to do consignments. Meanwhile, in their contract, it specifically says consignments are allowed. So, like, they're completely lying in that case as well. It seems like there might be something to, nobody's really sure, but there might be something to the franchise being behind on royalty payments or something. So in that case, like, maybe that's part of that might go, like, there might be an issue there. But even in that case, those Legos that were this guy's, or just like, they're his property. It has no bearing on they're not part of the store at all. So then all of a sudden, Reckless Ben creates a GoFundMe to raise money, feeling bad for these people that like this is their savings. It's just gone, right? So he starts that, and then Bricks and Minifig sends a cease and desist to Patreon, saying that they can't have this. Well, now the Patreon CEO comes out, and this, I don't know if this is in the story. This is something that I literally just saw yesterday. The Patreon CEO posts a video and says, he flat out says, like, we're standing behind our creators. And if Bricks and Minifigs isn't happy, they can sue us too. Like, literally just saying, like, look, you want to pick these fights. Like, we're a big company. Come sue us.
Yeah.
Which was like... I'm not a fan of Patreon. Like, they've done a lot of things that I don't like, but I kind of like that. Kind of like that. It's the drama over Legos. It's insane.
Oh yeah.
I like, honestly, this is some like, I don't have the attention span to read articles for 2 hours. So that should indicate how entertaining this read is. Like, I literally hit a point where I'm like, the only reason why I stopped reading was I had to go to bed. Like, had to go to bed. It's just absolutely insane. And meanwhile, Lego came out, and the only thing they've said is, we are not involved. They publicly said that, like, this is not us. We're not involved in this at all.
Well, they needed to.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Make it very clear and go swipe with their hands and walk away.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Yeah, I was out for dinner with my son and his fiance the other night, and he started telling me about this. And this story just went on and on and on with one thing after another. And some of it was just so bizarre. There's what's the word? Allegations. It's not proven, but there's so much that you kind of wonder about that the police at the town where the guy is running interference, so they can't get to him and can't serve him with papers and all kinds of stuff going on.
There's an interesting thing about that too. One of the videos on that page is the police department actually making a statement. It's a half hour long. I didn't make it 5 minutes in. It is the most dry video I've ever seen in my life. And it's like, I encourage you to click on the video to start watching it, because you will not believe how poor the quality is. Like, it's like, I mean, it's pathetic. It is absolutely pathetic.
Textbook on what not to do.
Yeah, it's horrible. It is absolutely horrible. But the interesting thing about it is there's like, so one of the things that came out of that is basically like there was actually body cam. Now I'm trying to remember who. Reckless Ben was arrested. What was it? I can't remember which part of it he was arrested for. I think it was like trespass or like stuff like that. Like, I don't know. He pulled a lot of stunts, and some of them actually were like the copyright lawyer that did those other videos. He's like, he had some really interesting thoughts, and some of it paid off. Like, nobody in the world would have thought to do that, and some of it paid off. And then he's like, and then other things were just the dumbest thing you could have possibly done. So it's like all over the place. But like he's being charged. Like, he was arrested for like trespassing or something like that. I don't know. But then like the police released body cam footage. And then suddenly, like, there's parts of it that are redacted, and it's just like it's in weird areas. But then, like, so there's like all these allegations that about the police department, like they're basically, you know, running interference or whatever. But then the reality is that there's also this other argument that's like, wait, the reason why there was the redactions is because the policy of the police department is, you know, there's certain things that they can't. It's an active investigation, so there's certain things they have to hold back. And then the other thing somebody made a point of, and this is actually a really good point, is like, yes, okay, this guy is the police are really against Reckless Ben, but he's also a content creator from another state that has basically come into their town and kind of wreaking havoc. You know, so like. There's a point where you can kind of say, like, okay, even without really being against what he's doing, you can kind of feel the point of like, okay, well, the local police department is like, we're tired of getting calls about this. You know, they're just fed up with all the drama. So like, they're going to stand by their residents more than like the YouTuber from California. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not saying that that's the right stance to take, but like you can kind of feel like a lot of people would have that stance, you know, because it's like, you know, if this was all going on to my neighbors, like I'd be complaining. I'd be like, no, I'm tired of all this stuff happening, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is, it's crazy. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. The article is in our show notes. It's going to be the first link on there. So honestly,
set aside a few hours.
Yes, if you have some time, this
coffee
is
or a beer or a glass of wine, whatever.
And I hope there's going to be like an HBO or Netflix documentary at some point, because like this is the stuff that would just be like perfect. But it's very entertaining.
Docu-comedy.
Yes. Oh man, it's insane. Well, this is Side Friction. It's episode 131 for June 6th, 2026. I'm Bob.
Yes, 6626. I'm Greg.
Yeah. And Ryan's at Disneyland, so he's going to having fun while we talk about stuff.
Yeah.
Breaking news. We talked, this was maybe a month or two ago, we talked about Hershey Park having, you know, contract
labor
negotiations with the union. And it was like, well, you know, this, you know, Inside the Magic was like, oh, everything's going to hell. It's all over. Hershey's going to die. And meanwhile, it was just like, no, there's a labor dispute. We're figuring it out. Well, I hate to say it, but Inside the Magic may have accidentally been right.
Well, they weren't right for all the drama.
No, they're never right for all the drama. But
for the clickbait and all that. But anyway,
on Monday, Hershey Park spokesperson said that they had reached a tentative agreement with the union, but then the union ultimately voted to reject that offer on Wednesday, which was yesterday, for recording day. We're recording on the 4th. Yeah. So this is the union membership is across Hershey Park, Giant Center, and Hotel Hershey. They overwhelmingly voted down the last contract offer. This was the 4th time they rejected a proposal. And the union also voted to authorize a workers' strike. This doesn't mean they're striking. They just have authorized a strike if it comes to that.
Everything's in place so that they can do it.
Yeah. So Hershey obviously saying is disappointed by the rejection, but respects the outcome of the vote. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, but I mean, 4 rejections and voting to strike.
It sounds like it's going to happen
when it gets to that point. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've been in some union positions. And if it gets to this point where the strike is authorized, you can bet the union's serious about it.
Yeah.
You know, they're not joking around. They're not posturing or, you know, calling anybody's bluff. They're ready to do it.
Yeah. And I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of this. We just like this, the state of things is just not good. Costs are going up and, you know, it's bad for everybody. But yeah, hopefully they can work something out. I know, I was just reading something in West Virginia. There's like a beer distributor that's been on strike for a while, and there's something like crazy, like the proposal was basically a 900% increase in healthcare, like what their monthly rate would be for their health insurance, and a 5-cent raise. And it was basically like the union is like, we can't, like you this basically equates to $5 or $6 less an hour for us.
Yeah.
And they came back and they're like, okay, well, we'll reduce it to 870%. Like, that's not even.
What?
Yeah. This is why, you know, for I think for a long time we didn't need unions in these like smaller scenarios, mid-range scenarios, but the way things are going recently, like I don't know. It's not cut and dry which side's the bad guy, in all honesty, because the costs are up for everybody. And
right. And we're also not in the room. What do we know about
right?
What they're actually discussing?
That's also true. Yeah, so we'll have to see how this plays out, but yeah, I was it really had been like teetering on, yeah, should I get a Hershey pass? And now I'm like, yeah, nope, not gonna do it, because I don't know what's gonna. That's kind of been my whole thing. Like, I don't have any passes this year, not a single pass, and I'm just in this like, I don't know. There's a chance I'm gonna renew Palace, or whatever it's called now.
Yeah.
But like, that's the only one I think I'll consider, if I even do that. I may just do tickets if I go anywhere, because there's just so much unknown. So much unknown.
Yeah, well, the day you and I were in Hershey, where I didn't have a regular ticket because I had got 2 free passes.
Mm-hmm.
And I debated that day about whether or not to buy a season pass. And I didn't. And now I think I'm glad I didn't, because of where this could go.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't. I hope they settle and everything.
Right. Yeah. Me as well.
Moves along and, you know, everybody's okay. But like I said a minute ago, when it gets to this point, there's a really good chance that they will strike.
Yep. Yeah. And just, you know, the other one I would have was Six Flags or Cedar Fair, which is now the same. And like, there's so much uncertainty there. Like, my local park doesn't have a park president. So, you know, I think there's, you know, by the end of this year, they could not be a Six Flags park.
Yeah.
And there's so much unknown. I just don't, it's not worth it. I'll just do tickets. But like the cost of gas too. Like, I can't really afford to go to parks, because even with a little accent, it's expensive.
Yeah.
Like, the day that I thought that I would put $60 into an accent, like, that's not.
It's insane.
It's ridiculous.
Just my trip to Wisconsin that I took a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
You know, that's a long drive.
I know.
It was like, oh, the gas I was putting in. I'm like, geez. It's not any more gas than I've ever put in, but it sure cost me a hell of a lot more. Plus I'm driving toll roads on top of that.
I guess that way. That's the only. If you go to Cedar Point from the Pittsburgh area, like, the turnpike's really, that's the only time that I really take a turnpike.
Yeah.
Because that's the, like, say, but like going across Pennsylvania, you don't need to use a turnpike.
Yeah, but going from Pittsburgh to southern Wisconsin, you have to.
Yeah.
It would add
it's the same way with, like,
to the trip.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the same way it is Pittsburgh to Cedar Point. Like, it's like an hour longer to not take a toll road. It's like, man.
There was a time coming back from Wisconsin, and my son was with me, and I forget what point it changed. Maybe we stopped overnight anyway, but there must have been some sort of an overnight upgrade to the Waze software that, nobody had said anything about, and it redid settings. And one of the things that suddenly was turned on was don't use toll roads. But we didn't know that because they didn't announce it, right? I know I didn't change that setting. And holy crap.
Is your house falling down?
Just all of a sudden, there's a bookshelf off to my left, and all of a sudden, a whole bunch of crap just gets sliding off of it. I have no idea why. Whatever. I don't think anything broke. Wasn't anything like that. But anyway, we didn't know it. And so it took us off the highway, and I just assumed it was because there was an accident or something up ahead, because Waze is normally great about that in my experience when I'm doing long trips like that. And realizing, man, we're staying on this side road a long time and driving parallel to the highway, but never on the highway. I'm like, where the hell was this accident? And finally, we finally stopped to get something to eat in this little tiny kind of scary town, because it was kind of tiny scary. and I started looking, I'm like, wait a minute. It's not showing, usually it's like the road is red or something.
Yeah,
the traffic's
exactly.
Bad. None of that was there anywhere. And I started going through the settings and found that it had been put on to don't use toll roads.
That's a weird thing, because I've always assumed that Google tries to push you to toll roads.
Well, in this case, it didn't. And like I said, I know I didn't change the settings, and they do push things out without telling you. And yeah, we wasted the drive home was an hour and a half longer than it needed to be when we discovered that.
There have been so many navigation apps that I've used that will, like they just if you, I mean, I generally have toll roads turned off, and I just turn them on in scenarios where I know that like Ohio, Pennsylvania to Ohio,
Yeah.
Not even about that, because if I'm going to Kings Island, you just take 70. But like, it always seems like it's always trying to make you go a toll road. And I'm like, I know the toll road's not faster. And so when I drive past the toll road, it does like 3 or 4 times it'll try to tell me to turn around. And then I push on through, and then eventually it gives up, reroutes me the way that I want to go. And it's like the time is 10 minutes less than if I had got on the toll road.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, why? Why would you take me on a toll road that's longer? And it just all
the state is paying Google something under the table.
Honestly, like it has been a long time since I used Google navigation, because I'm trying my best to get away from Google as much as possible. But like, I always kind of assumed that there was some kind of payoff happening there, because the routing was so weird with regards to toll roads. I have no proof of that. It just seemed weird. and like, most people just don't question their GPS. They just go.
Roll with it.
Yeah.
Dylan tries to guide them up a set of stairs in Pittsburgh instead of a road. We've talked about that, haven't we?
I think so. I feel this sounds familiar. It was a while ago, though. So, the biggest news of anywhere for the last week has been the Galveston, Texas amusement park, which is, what is that? Pleasure Pier.
Yeah.
Their Gerstlauer tower coaster got to the top and stopped.
And decided to stay, like the view.
And then, to add more fun into it, the elevator didn't work. So, firefighters had to actually go and perform a rescue. and everybody was safe. It took like 4 hours. It's and fortunately you weren't in a position like on the tilt coaster at Codaland where you're like in that.
Yeah, at least you're kind of laying back.
Yeah, exactly.
You're laying back in the Texas sun beating down on you.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's also interesting. The Galveston firefighters. There's an article about that whole thing, and they talk about how this is all like they did all. Codaland really needs to read this article. Because like everything was they've had training drills, they knew what to do. They went into action, and if you want to read about it, but I didn't read the whole article, unfortunately. I didn't have time because this has been a crazy week. But they said the firefighter said that like even though it was stressful for everybody, it was like there was a lot of joking going around. The people that were stuck with the firefighters, there was just like a camaraderie there, and like everything went smooth. And it's just like
nobody was panicking,
right? Yeah, it's it really this is the way things are supposed to work. When stuff goes really wrong.
When they break down, it's the way.
Well, yes, that's what I mean. Like when stuff goes really wrong, this is what you're supposed to do, and this is why firefighters in whatever fire station covers that area, generally they do drills. They know what they're aware of what's in that amusement park, and they'll work with park staff, and they'll have days where they go and they do training on stuff. They do simulations. They get used to this stuff because if the worst case happens, they need to be ready. That's what firefighters are trained for. And it's awesome to see when it works like this. And with the recent Codaland thing, I think that's the thing. There was just none of this. There was none of that camaraderie. There was none of that. Like it was a what do we do? Oh my God! Like everybody's panicking. Yeah. And the people in charge should not panic when stuff like this happens. And then there's also an article that just recently came out, which is a no-brainer. There was a failed sensor that caused it all.
Oh, gee.
That's what always causes it. Almost always. So yeah, it's good to see that went smooth, and everything went the way it was supposed to go. I guess it's too late now, but this weekend, it's too late to get reservations. But this weekend, Steph was actually going to join us, but she's backed up because she is doing so much work for this amusement preservation museum that's happening this weekend. They're having an open house, and I really, if it wasn't for Ravine Flyer Frenzy happening this weekend, I probably would have been going to this because they have the Raging Wolf Bob cars. I mean, that's that's my coaster. But I really do, especially with talking to Steph. Like she does a lot with these people, and like I just love. I love that this is a passion project that's growing. Every year it's growing, and they have their sights set on doing more. But like this is the kind of museum that I like to see when the people are passionate about it, and it's not like I don't know, these guys just really are into it,
right? And they're doing everything they can to make it accessible for something that's a private endeavor. If I remember correctly, when he was on the show, however long ago that was. He does things at schools and whatnot. He travels with some of the things that he can pack in his car to show people and all that stuff, as well as this kind of event. He's not trying to say that he's a museum and give me your money.
Right.
He's collecting it because of his own passion and then sharing it as much as he possibly can. And it's really cool. It's a great thing for him to be doing.
Yeah, and this is the kind of thing that you can see growing into a museum. I mean, he calls himself a museum, but yeah, it's not fully active yet. But even in that regard, it's my understanding that you can basically send them a message and say, hey, can I come check stuff out like when I'm in the area? And a lot of times they're like, sure, yeah. So it's not like it's It's also in a decent area too that's surrounded by parks.
Yeah, parks and civilization. And
I really do want to stop there. I will have to do that sometime, but anybody that is going, you'll probably see stuff there. Say hi.
Yeah. Say hi to Steph, and maybe we should record a show. It's sitting in the Wolf Bob.
I remember trying to think. James, Timmy, and I we did a whole show, well, like half a show in Line for the Voyage at Hollywood Nights. Okay. And then actually we did another show that we recorded in the caves at Islands of Adventure. That was interesting.
Nice. I think you should change your name on Discord to Raging Wolf Bob.
I mean, that's my name on Mastodon.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I could
remember that.
Yeah, I should.
Just make it put it everywhere. Anyway.
Yeah, I've kind of loosely gone by that name, like here and there. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like it started out Coaster Talk Bob because it was Coaster Talk Podcast. And then when Coaster Talk ended, it was like, wait. I was like, well, here's a good time to use Raging Wolf Bob.
Or maybe Ranting Wolf Bob.
Yes. It is the perfect name for me, really.
Yes, it is.
So, AI sucks. And it might be coming for coasters too, sort of.
Yeah.
Intermountain Lift has been acquired by Polargy, who they're a manufacturer of data center infrastructure, which I assume they're acquiring stuff because they want to roll out all of these AI data centers, not legacy data centers. That's a different thing, but all this AI stuff that's going to kill us. And not Rise of the Machines kill us either. It's just going to destroy us. Mentally, economically, environmentally, all of it. But yeah, so Intermountain Lift, who had done track fabrication for like SNS, Vekoma, I think Chance, they've done a lot of track work, fabrication for various companies. They also do other stuff too. So it's not like this company is acquiring just a roller coaster manufacturer.
Right. Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting to see, like, with the way AI data centers are rolling out, is this one of those things where it's like we need the resources, so they acquired Intermountain Lift, and it's basically all of those resources are going to go towards AI data centers? Yeah,
no more anything else from them.
And there's also another rumor. This is just a rumor at this point.
I was wondering if you're going to bring it up.
It's just a rumor. I'm pushing that it's just a rumor. But there is a rumor that Claremont Still Fabricators has shut down, who has been exclusively doing B&M's track. All of B&M's track had been fabricated in Ohio at Claremont Still. I don't know. I tried to look through stuff to back that up. There's nothing that can back that up right now.
Definitive. And on the other side of it, there's all kinds of rumors about the contract having been terminated. It seems like that, there's so much of it that do. But I've also seen not only that they've closed down, but also that they're just down for refurbishment in the plant.
That could be as well.
Because their website is still up and says we're hiring. That's some of it. But, just because their website is up and says that doesn't mean a thing in terms of their solvency.
Right.
But there's all kinds of stuff out there that, like you say, is rumor. But supposedly they're shipping it off to where? Was it Turkey or some other country? No. I saw something about where they're going to do their track instead.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not, honestly, I'm at this point, I'm not buying into any of it. Because, it's so rumor. It could very well become fact, but right now it's just like it's the edge of rumor right now. But it is kind of interesting though, with seeing how B&M's quality has dropped. And, that makes you think a lot about, well, so what was going on? Like, was Claremont still struggling? And the track that was being fabricated wasn't to the standards, and then B&M canceled the contract, and then because B&M canceled the contract, the company went out of business. Or did the company go out of business and left B&M hanging? Or is everything still going on as normal?
Yeah.
Like absolutely none of this is verified. Now the Polar G acquiring Intermountain Lift, that's verified. There's a link in our show notes that did happen. So yeah, it's going to be, I'm telling you, in the next 5 years, I think everybody's lives are going to change in one way or another. And I think every industry is going to be drastically changed. And I think this is the start of those changes starting to happen. Six Flags Great America. This is good news.
Kind of amazing. Actually.
Yeah, really, because Six Flags doesn't like to race coasters. They like to, hey, why would we run both? Let's just run one. It's the same thing, right?
And for years, you'd go there and they weren't racing them. And you kind of wondered, well, were they even maintaining both tracks then?
Yeah.
But for the 50th anniversary,
American Eagle is returning after a 10-year hiatus. They're going to be racing. 10 years. That's insane.
They're going to be racing if they manage to keep it running.
Well, that's true.
Because the last time I was there, I was on the station platform and it broke down. And it broke down enough that they just said, as you exit, we'll hand you fast passes for another ride.
Of course.
Because this is going to be down for a while. And it didn't open the rest of the day. And this talking to
somebody an Intamin, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Lives there, said that's just like a regular occurrence. If it opens up and you're not there on one of the first few trains, you probably still won't get on it because it'll close. And because it won't last too many cycles before it breaks down again. Which is such a shame because I was still living in that part of the country when those coasters first opened. Because yes, I'm that old. And it was phenomenal. There was nothing well, it's still technically the largest racing wood coaster in the world after all these years.
Yep.
And so it was definitely something nobody had ever seen before on that scale. And it was terrifying back then. Probably wouldn't be so much now after everybody's ridden the Voyage and that sort of madness. But I'm glad to see it's back up for at least another season with the racing. It makes me feel like I need to make a trip back that way at some point and just not tell my family so they don't expect me to come up there too.
Did they do anything to it, or did they just like, oh, we're going to open
That's
it?
what I want to know, because if they just opened it without any great maintenance on it, it's probably going to be a painful ride.
I always do find it amazing when wooden coasters break down in like that kind of fashion that you were talking about. Like,
yeah,
they're not. Yes, they have complicated PLCs, but like, there's so much less involved. I don't know. It's like I wish Ryan was here to kind of tell me I'm full of shit or I'm not. But like, it just seems like they should not. Wooden coasters should not have the problems like this, like these coasters, like that coaster does.
Well,
like
the day that I was, on the platform, like second in line in the area, the stall that I was in, I really got the impression that when the mechanics came up, they looked at it, what it was, and didn't even really try before they just said, let's just shut it down, in the sense that it's not enough of a priority to them. They've got other things that they've got to take care of before that. So, okay, this is going to take more than a minute we'll go do other things and try again after hours.
You know, I also kind of think, like, I wonder if it actually does have a PLC or if it's like relays. Because I could see that, like, if it has not been upgraded with a PLC and like it's running on relays, I could see mechanics being like, "We're not dealing with that. I don't feel like dealing with that."
Well, that very well could be because it's 40 years old and Six Flags took it over. Because it was originally opened when it was still Marriott's, and don't even get me started with how Six Flags destroyed the park from what Marriott was doing. I wish they had stayed in it.
Yeah.
That it was clean like you wouldn't believe. They had a lot more in the way of live entertainment shows. When you got, Chicago and Milwaukee to draw on for people to do live entertainment, it was Broadway quality. I've seen shows on Broadway. I know what the comparison is. They were incredible stage shows. And the rides were usually, something maybe a little too cutting edge in the case of the Intamin Drop Tower, because, and a few other things. But, and the theming, it wasn't Disney, but it sure as hell wasn't Six Flags or even Cedar Fair. It was just, it was real theming in each land and everything. You knew you were in the New England section. You knew you were at the county fair. Now I can tell what was what because I remember what it was like way back when. But the theming is essentially gone, except for the area where they've concentrated all the DC stuff. Anyway, I'm glad to see it's back up. I feel like I just need to go to Chicago to race it one more time, even if it destroys my neck or something, because it's so rough. Who knows? I hope they did something with it before they open it back up. I'll have to do some homework, see if they can find any information on that.
Something like that like really deserves like Gravity Group.
Oh, I was just going to say, my fantasy is for Gravity Group to come in and not just put the track on, but do the reprofiling magic that they do and all of that sort of thing to make it, the best can be all over again.
Yeah.
Because it's a fantastic coaster. It deserves better than what it's gotten.
I don't think so. That being Intamin, that was Intamin, but that was before their pre-fat track, right? That was just a regular old-fashioned wooden coaster.
Yeah, I mean, it's, 40 years old? It must be then, from doing the math? Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway.
And technically it is, even Twister still runs with relays. It doesn't have a PLC. It's still just relay operated. So and that was built in 99. So. Well,
but it's Knoebels running the show.
Yeah, well, Phoenix has like a top of the line PLC, so
okay,
it can happen there too.
I'm saying no matter what it is that's in that park, it's going to be maintained well.
Oh yes, absolutely. Well. Oh yes, absolutely.
That's what
in
I'm
that
saying.
regard, yeah, it doesn't matter what it is; they're going to maintain it. And that, Knoebels has a lot of people that are good with old school stuff. I mean, that's like half their park. That's
where you go to retire from. What's your retirement job going to be? I'm moving to Ellisburg.
Yep. Well, Six Flags Fiesta Texas saw Dollywood and they're like, we can do that.
Yeah.
And they went to Vacom and they said, give us one.
Yes, they did.
And Werewolf Gorge was born. And, this is one of those things that I have faith in Vacoma. Like, I don't have a lot of faith in Six Flags theming, but I feel like Vacoma's going to be like, no, you have to.
Yeah, and it is Fiesta Texas, not the rest of Six Flags.
That is true.
And even though Jeff isn't running the show anymore...
Well, he was probably involved in the planning.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's probably involved in the planning, and he's got lots of proteges who probably still are there.
Yeah.
Who learned at the Masters, So I have high hopes for this being really good because Big Bear Mountain is easily the best family coaster I've ever been on.
I can't wait to ride that coaster, honestly.
Yeah, well, I got some free tickets to Dollywood. I'm just waiting for them to open up Night Flight, and then we'll plan a day. I haven't heard anything about that lately. Have you?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Might have to look at. I'm curious. It did get delayed, right? A little bit.
I don't think they ever officially announced a date other than late spring, early summer. So we're still in that range.
Knox News. Let's see. Blah blah blah. We know what it is. Blah 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 blah. It's been over 3 months since Owens offered the tease, and some eager Dollywood fans have become worried the wait to try out the new coaster might be longer than expected. But Dollywood is seeing the light at the end of the construction tunnel. Haha. Are they? Are you not going to give me the actual date or what's going on?
Probably not if Dollywood doesn't know.
They said spring, and they say that spring ends June 21st this year. So
okay, the countdown begins.
Oh, but the official Night Flight webpage has changed from Take Flight Spring 2026 to Take Flight in 2026.
Okay.
So, yeah. Wait, when was this? They're about to share news soon. When was this article? This article was posted yesterday. And they said there's good news. Dollywood expects to provide information soon.
Okay.
Like next few days. So actually, by the time this podcast airs,
it'll come out tomorrow because we're recording today.
Right.
That's what happens.
That's exactly what always happens. It's like that. The evacuation at Pleasure Pier in Galveston.
Yeah.
That literally was happening as we were recording. And literally, I woke up Friday and there it was. I was like, every Friday. But if we changed to record Fridays, all the news would come out on Saturday. It's just the way it would work.
Yes. Well.
So Six Flags is like.
To be amazing.
Six Flags is like, we're going to ban people, and we mean business. And I actually like this side of Six Flags.
Yeah.
So people are dumb. An 18-year-old guy just decided to de-pants somebody in line. It was a transgender person, but like literally pulled down skirt, underwear, everything. Children around. And the dumbass was like, he apparently snuck into the park. So, like, he didn't even pay to go into the park. So, like, it's like if you're doing something illegal, you should follow the other laws so you don't get caught, right? No, this guy...
Don't do something to draw attention
this guy
to yourself
breaks
like
into Cedar Point, and he's like, oh, hey, this won't cause any problems. The guy runs from the police and gets tased. Like...
Which I love. I'm sorry, but if you're going to do what he's done,
exactly. Believe me, I often think that sometimes police officers are a little bit too trigger happy, even with tasers. But like in this case, like this wasn't even just running from the police. This was just doing something just stupid. Just outright stupid. He's not only facing charges, but he is banned from Six Flags.
Yep.
Which, honestly, I'm glad to start seeing this in the news.
The thing of it is, he snuck in illegally anyway, so they can ban him, but he still could probably figure out a way to sneak in.
They have all kinds of reasons to ban him. So,
yeah,
he is. So Cedar Point is a family-friendly environment, and we do not tolerate disruptive or inappropriate behavior. Guests who violate our code of conduct are not welcome in our parks, and this guest has been banned from all Six Flags parks for life. Further inquiries should be directed to the Sandusky Police Department. He's due back in court soon.
I didn't miss that. He's actually entered a not guilty plea.
Well, yeah, I mean... That could be for all kinds of reasons.
I suppose,
because you really don't ever plead guilty unless you have a deal on the table.
Yeah.
I mean, in reality, he knows he's guilty.
Of course he is, and there's so many witnesses.
Right.
Not to mention that, the person that he did it to.
He did enter the park with somebody else, and that person hasn't been identified. But that person was apparently not involved in the further stupidity.
I don't know.
Oh, there's actually a video.
He might have been egged on by him. Anyway.
There's actually police video. I didn't notice that. And now it quit. I hate the web. The web sucks so bad now. There's a video there. You might get lucky and it works for you. Universal has officially I can't talk. Universal has officially revealed the name of its first UK theme park, which is opening in 2031. It is... Wait, what was the name?
Universal United Kingdom Resort. So, not that that's any surprise, because that's kind of what they've done with all of their non-US resorts, because it's Universal Japan, that sort of thing. So I expect it'll be no different. It doesn't surprise me. I wish it had come up with something more creative. Like Epic Universe. It's a Universal park, but it has a name that says something about the park instead of just.
Well, yeah, but that's only because they're out of names.
Yeah, because Universal Orlando's taken.
I mean, that is the case. Is like, well, actually, does Universal Japan have other parks, or is it just Universal Japan?
No, it's just the one. It's just Universal Japan. That's it. No other parks there.
So that's the thing. Once you get your first park, it has to be Universal Studios. Then if you add another park, it can be whatever.
You got to do something else. And I wonder if they will ever. Well, we'll see how this one goes, I suppose, is what they're saying to themselves in terms of opening up any other parks in Europe. Because Europe as a whole is a big place. And the UK is not going to be the best for weather.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I also see a little background. Greg and I were talking before the show, and like a lot of stuff kind of hit me today on like things aren't looking so bright for the future. But I honestly it's like seeing the bigger companies doing more overseas. I kind of think they're hedging their bets because I think people are starting to realize like the theme park industry in the U.S. is going to struggle soon because I mean we just don't have the money to do stuff. That's so like all of a sudden we're seeing more and more stuff like, oh yeah, we're opening this, we're opening that.
Well, all the stuff that's going on in the Middle East. Whoever thought they'd be having that kind of entertainment in the Middle East?
Right? Yeah. Absolutely. And then I won't get into politics. Stop, Bob.
No.
Stop.
Stop. Slap your hand.
Yes. But, however, Disney does still have a problem. Disneyland Paris has never been good. But apparently, after 30 years of existence, Disney still has $4.2 billion of its investment to Disneyland Paris that it has not gained back yet. That's how bad things have been going with that park.
Well,
it's definitely gotten better, like by a lot.
But I wonder how much of that is just because, a few years ago, Disney didn't really own it. They own a very small percentage of it. And then the French company that did own it, and maybe some changes in French regulations, opened it up so that Disney could buy it, get controlling interest. And at that point, they did. They spent a whole lot of money on that and whatnot. So I wonder how much of that $4.2 billion is from the sale alone.
Oh.
because to begin with, it was lost money massively.
Oh yeah, it was a horrible opening.
I believe it did reach a point where it was making money. Eventually, after they made some adjustments and all this, that, and the other thing, they did a lot of panicked rearranging of how they did business, and it did make money for a while. Anyway, don't know enough of the history of it. But speaking
Disney doesn't own it all yet.
They own a controlling interest. They don't own it completely themselves. Before, they weren't allowed to have controlling interest.
Because it says at the bottom, Euro Disney still pays for like the licensing for Disney characters in the movies and everything, and that's been the greatest gains that they've got from Euro Disney, or Disneyland Paris, or I guess it was Euro Disney that. So I don't know. Why are they calling it Euro Disney at the?
Well, because that's the old name. It's not.
Well,
that's not the official name anymore.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why do they kind of switch? I don't know. This article is like, are they talking? I'm having trouble following the bottom of the article.
Maybe they're calling it the Disneyland Resort Paris now, but the parent company that's running it is still called Euro Disney. I don't know. I'd have to do some more homework because we just came across this article just before the show, so I don't think either of us have studied it so we'll have to.
Yeah, this
get some more information
just
on,
came
but it's
up.
really sad to say that it's still, $4.2 billion deficit. Because supposedly they've really, really done a lot to come in and make the park nicer, and they've expanded what used to be the Hollywood Studios. Now I forget what they've renamed it to now. Because I've been to Disneyland Paris. It's been a while now. And I came away with it with really mixed impressions. In a lot of ways, at the time, I would have said it was the most beautiful of the Disney parks. But there was no Disney Sea then.
Yeah, everybody says Disney Sea is it.
Yeah, and but you could tell that it was getting run down. Pavement needed to be redone, buildings needed to be repainted, this, that, and the other thing, where they just weren't keeping it up like it should be for a Disney park. So that was kind of disappointing about it. And hopefully that's not that way anymore. It's been, like I said, it's been a long time since I've been there. And granted, I haven't been to the other Asian parks, but Disney Sea is phenomenal. Yeah, I've never been any place that's that immersive, and every single detail is there in place.
That's what I've heard.
Perfectly maintained. Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. I think a lot of the problem with Disney Paris, well, especially back when it was Euro Disney, came down to Eisner without Wells.
Yeah.
Which, like, a lot of, maybe it is a lot, it's probably like, oh, yeah, there's that, like, oh, it's time for improvements, and, oh, we got Chapek, who doesn't want to do anything. Like, It might just be bad timing for that poor park. Because every time something needs done, it's like Disney has poor leadership at that specific moment in time.
Because there's so much about it that's cool. I like their castle the best in Paris. We're going to talk about silly things in a way, but I like how their oh, come on, my brain is gone. The roller coaster, the mountain one,
Big Thunder.
Yes, thank you. Big Thunder. God, they don't have a Tom Sawyer's Island in Frontierland. Instead, Big Thunder takes up the whole island.
Oh yeah, but
the station is not on the island.
It goes off. It goes
through a tunnel with caves with crystals and stalactites and all of that stuff, and it's just really cool. And it's fun to ride that ride where there's water all around you and all that sort of thing, and it goes. Get great views of their version of the Haunted Mansion, which is Western themed. There's a lot about it. It's really cool. And they still have, remember years ago at Disneyland in California, they had Skull Mountain from Peter Pan and that sort of, and the pirate ship, all that stuff. It's there. They have it there now. and they've got a maze that goes in and around caves and grottos and all that sort of thing that it's just fun to walk around in. And
wait, are you saying that Six Flags Great Adventure Skull Mountain isn't up to the task?
Sorry, Bob, but I'm afraid so. Not even close.
It's a pitch black coaster that they can't even make pitch black.
No. Oh, that thing is pathetic.
It shouldn't be. That's what's upsetting.
Well, it shouldn't. Well, there's a lot that shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's a real missed opportunity there. But there's a lot about Great Adventure that's been a missed opportunity.
Yep. There should still be a really big green coaster there too, and
yeah, there should, right next to the purple one, since they didn't build the purple one where the green one was anyway.
I know, like there's no more like evidence that you need that Kingda Ka was not supposed to go away than the new coaster literally going around where Kingda Ka was.
Yeah,
like you can clearly tell they designed it around Kingda Ka.
I'm just waiting for them to bring out the yellow paint instead of putting any kind of trees or anything around the new purple one.
They did. I did see that it's going to be 80 miles per hour upside down. But like that seems so weird because it's a launch. Isn't it an upside down launch? So like, shouldn't it be going faster than 80 miles if it's going to? Or maybe. Well, I guess we don't know the height of the tower. So
now we don't. Although we do know that the crane that they brought in has the potential to get 450 feet tall itself. That doesn't mean they can build to 450 feet tall with it.
Right. Well, yeah.
But I have to bring in one hell of a tall crane to build it. It's still not going to be Kingda Ka height. There's no way.
No, I don't think so. I don't know what to think of that coaster.
You know, I would be really, really excited about it if it weren't Kingda Ka's replacement.
Yeah.
I would be all for just being first in line on that puppy, except for the history of it.
Yep.
Before it even opens. Or if it, if it were at some other park, or even that one, but we still had Kingda Ka,
I mean, that's a theme. I mean, because Top Thrill 2 is kind of... Well, no, I don't even know that I'd like Top Thrill 2 if it wasn't Top Thrill Dragster's replacement. I just really did not like that. It was not fun and it was not comfortable. It was just...
Yeah.
It was rambunctious in a way that just wasn't fun. Like, it wasn't even RMC, like, airtime. It was just stupid airtime. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. It was just... I just don't like it. Like,
Yeah, but I understand
fun.
Totally what you're saying. The whole thing. The first time I rode it was cold and rainy because we tried to open it on, opening day, all of that stuff. And so it was a miserable experience because of the weather. But then I got to ride it later when the weather was great. And I was like, this is really a huge letdown. And even if it hadn't been a replacement for Top Thrill Dragster, it would have been a disappointment.
Yeah. And like even Rapterra, I love Rapterra. I think Rapterra is a great coaster, but it's always going to be that that's where Volcano's supposed to be. Like there's just a lot of that. And the RMC at Six Flags New England, that was Riverside Cyclone. And I don't care how good Wicked Cyclone is. It Wicked?
Yeah, that's right.
I don't care how good that is. It's still like Riverside Cyclone was so good. We should not have lost that. And it's always, when you have these really good rides, it's hard to, it's hard to separate from that.
Well, they're banking on all of us who remember dying.
I guess that's what it is.
So and the next generation won't know any different.
Yeah, but it's also weird too because we know nothing about this new coaster really. We
know
it's almost definitely a spinner. And it's going to have an upside down launch, and that's all we know. But it sounds like it's going to be a shuttle coaster, which I just, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's definitely. They've already got a shuttle coaster. That from by your account is a good one. Flash.
Wait. Oh, yeah, it is Shuttle. Duh.
Yeah,
yes, that is really good. That's a really good coaster.
So I don't care how much bigger this is. Don't do another Shuttle coaster.
That's the other thing too. It's like why? I don't know. Height doesn't matter. I'm sorry. I've
been around Ryan too much lately. My mind just went to several gutters.
It's a 2,000 foot tall swimming pool. You saw that, right?
No.
Oh my God.
What are you talking about?
Trump held up a sign at the White House like 2 days ago. And it was like if you put the reflecting pool on its side, it's taller than all of our skyscrapers. Okay? What's your point?
Yeah. He's justifying the cost of painting it.
Not to mention, there's 3 skyscrapers higher than 2,000 feet. They're just not in the U.S.
All right.
But
let's not go down that path.
My point was Lightning Run. It's like, what, 100 feet? 120 feet? Something like that. And it's like one of the best coasters you could ride.
Well, look at Maverick.
Fun. Yes. Maverick's a really good example.
Case in point, yeah.
Yeah, Lightning Run is 100 feet tall. And only 55 miles an hour. And I'd take that over a lot of hypercoasters.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think I'd take it over pretty much any hypercoaster. And maybe some Gigas.
Even Diamondback? That's a good hyper.
I do really like Diamondback, but I would rather ride Lightning Run by a long shot. I'd rather ride Lightning. Well, you've never been on Lightning Run?
I have not.
Think Phantom's Revenge.
Okay, that's a high bar.
I mean, it's the same company, so
yeah.
And it's more rambunctious than Phantom's Revenge,
and it doesn't beat your bottom like Steel Eel does.
No, it actually has RMC restraints. Thanks for listening to Side Friction Podcast. We release new episodes every Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern.
If you enjoyed the show, please consider leaving us a review on the platform you are listening to.
Visit our website at sidefriction.com to find show notes and other information, as well as links to other locations where you can find us.
Follow us on Mastodon, sidefriction at worldkey.io, or follow me at RagingWolfBob at opencoaster.net.
Check out my channel on YouTube at Ryan the Ride Mechanic.
We hope you'll join us next week and stay on track with Side Friction Podcast.